Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning, Megan.
Okay, I think we're.
Jesse Gale, stop.
Can you hear me?
We made it through another week, mostly.
I can't hear you, Sherry. I don't know if it's me or.
Turn what he meant for evil into good.
I can hear her.
I will do that.
All right, how's everybody else doing? Getting ready for holidays?
I haven't even had time to think about holidays, just trying to manage my business life.
Okay, maybe this is me that's not working.
Ashley, did you say you could hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, cool. I'll stop messing with it. See if it's Megan. Well, yeah.
Okay, I think it was me. Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Okay, yeah, now I can. Okay, I think it was me.
Okay, let's start all of that over. Where are we at?
Right. Yeah, if anybody said anything, I did not hear it.
Ashley, do you want to repeat what you said? I think she was asking how the week is going.
Oh, were you trying to ask about the holidays? No, I haven't even thought about a holiday.
Oh.
I'm so busy. I'm just trying to get my ish together here.
Understand.
I haven't thought about the holidays, Megan, yet either. Have you? What are you
Well,
doing?
only because we're leaving.
Well, I did change my email signature to say we'll be closed for Thanksgiving and for Christmas. So I guess technically, yes, I did think about
Yeah.
it, but in terms of family prepping, what we're gonna eat, what we're gonna do, no.
Yeah. Understand.
Email signature is smart. Go ahead and put that out there.
Yeah.
This week I've been talking to a lot of students about packages, quoting, or kind of into the new year, what their goals are and maybe how they're getting there. So if any of you guys have goals around that theme or questions around that theme, my brain is there for sure. Outside of that, are you guys getting, I've noticed a lot of calls, a lot of follow-ups, just following up with people I've met with this year has turned into discovery calls, things like that, staying active. Marketing questions are good if you have them.
Yeah, I know we've been getting a lot of questions around marketing lately too, seems like.
Okay, so I don't see any questions. Any questions in the Facebook group? If not, you and I can just go for it. Okay. Oh, there's so much we could talk about, but my brain is drawing a blank. I've been like putting out fires. Like my kids have been fussy all day. So I'm like in like this like, oh, fire mode. Let's see. Because yeah, I've been packages, pricing, what to offer, where to market have been my conversations this week. But I was trying to think if there was like any nuggets I could share. Oh, I do have a nugget. I was listening to a video on YouTube because that's what I do. But I listen to like, it's hard for me to listen while I work. So I have to like sit down and listen like when I'm eating a snack or holding a child or something. So this video was talking about the 4 kind of levels of achievement or success, things like that. And he mentioned 4 different orders. So the first one being tactics, the second one's being strategy, the third one being principles, and the fourth one being wisdom. So as we ask questions, and we see this, Megan, all the time, we've seen it in our own lives, and we've seen it with students where, you know, the first question is very tactical. How do I do this? Second question is, how do I get clients? But most people stop at the first, like, how do I do this type questions is what this guy was saying, which actually made a lot of sense to me because it's just the, what do I have to do to make money, right? That's as far as tactics go. Strategy might be, okay, how do I turn this into like a scalable business beyond myself? But then principles, that caught my attention because I think as much as I wish I was at wisdom, I think maybe I have moments God inspired wisdom, but I think more often I'm in a season where I'm trying to think through principles. And I was on a call with a student yesterday and I realized she was in very tactical mode, but she kind of needs to move out of it. So I challenged her a little bit on the principle of what she was doing. So principles being pricing and integrity. I say all the time, I don't nitpick. So I quote based on transactions and accounts. Does that mean if a client swipes their card 5 extra times in a month and now they have 205 transactions, am I going to hop all over them and increase their price? Absolutely not. Right? Like, I'm not going to nitpick and I don't want you to nitpick me. So I'm just going to, and I feel like 100 transaction gap. So I do 0 to 100, 100 to 200 and so forth. That's a big gap. Like if you're at 120, like it's going to take a while before you hit that next barrier. Typically they're going over because they're adding all kinds of accounts or something. But the principle, right, in my business is I'm not going to nitpick everything. Another principle would be giving more than you take, right? So I think sometimes with bookkeepers, we approach our interactions with other people as taking, getting, receiving. I just want you to sign. I just need the money in the door. I just want to talk to people who want to sign, versus just talking, casting the net really wide and saying, who can I serve? And just talking to everyone and figuring out what the needs are. Right. So if you talk to someone and they're just trying to pitch you, okay, can I connect them with someone? Right. So if we took an approach, and this is the strategy then to apply the principle that I walked through with this student, was because she wanted to do a lot more networking. So, okay, great. So let's do networking, but we're going to make like our own database of everyone we talk to. And we're going to say, like, in BNI, they use the term like power partner. So CPA, financial planner, CPA, bookkeeper, real estate agent, loan officer, right? Like, or title company type power partners, right? Window washer, or like windshield person with insurance agent, like power partners. Who can I connect you with? Who can pass each other business really easily because they're talking to people all day long. So as you create the directory, maybe it's just your CRM if you're using that 5-day marketing challenge CRM that we have, and you would add a column that says connect with, and you're going to put keywords. You're going to put like 3 keywords. That way, as soon as you get off the call with, let's call this person Adam, he needs to be connected with, he needs a CPA. He communicated on the call, he needs a CPA. Well, you probably have some CPAs. And so as soon as you get off that call, he's not ready for your services. Great. No big deal. Let me know if you run across anyone who uses QuickBooks. If you can connect me with someone who uses QuickBooks, that'd be great. So you're going to try to get a connection from them, but you're going to give them a connection. And you're going to lead with that connection. You're going to say, hey, Adam, I'm going to connect you right after we get off this call. I've got a couple of CPAs. I would love to connect you with Merrill Taylor. Right. And you're going to immediately send an email. Hey, Adam, I wanted to connect, hey, Merrill, I just met with Adam. He's looking for a new CPA. Happy connecting. Right. So now you're going to meet with, and let's say Adam is an insurance broker. He does auto insurance. Now you meet with someone who, completely unrelated, they own an e-commerce business, but it came up in the conversation that their windshield just broke. So as soon as you get off the call, you're going to say, hey, Sally, I wanted to connect you with Adam. You mentioned your windshield had just broken. He's a great resource for you. Happy connecting, right? You get no money out of that exchange. The principle being giving, because you kind of want someone to do the same, right? Like, we want referrals. We want people to say, hey, I know someone who does QuickBooks. That way, and it doesn't just stop as like after you get off the call, right? So yeah, your goal is in that first week to connect them with someone. But because they're on your list, your goal is to connect with them with someone kind of frequently, as often as you run into them, because that makes you top of mind, keeps you top of mind, right? And you can put a call to action in your email signature, right? Looking to be connected with those that use QuickBooks Online or want to use QuickBooks Online, or whatever it is. You can put a call to action down there if you wanted, or like a calendar link, or I would just say looking to connect. Make it easy for them to know what you want. But I think so, doing so in like a serving way, because we talk to a lot of people who they'll tell us their marketing, what they're doing. Their marketing is just referral based. And that's great. However, even referral based marketing takes work. It's not just sitting at your desk and getting work out the door. It's making connections. And I really think, and I did this in my not the first 6 months of my business, because I really didn't even know I wanted a business at that point. I just had some income coming in. That was cool. After that, I started saying yes to a lot of opportunities because it built momentum. So you've heard me say in the past, I think all of you have probably heard me say, Action breeds action. Megan says something really similar, because it builds momentum. It starts this freight train going. And the more momentum we can get, so saying yes to whatever calls we can get, I think we just have to do a really good job, because sometimes I think we get frustrated. Oh, it's a sales call. Oh, they just want to sell me. I think we can take ownership of those phone calls and say right out of the gate, hey, I'm not your ideal client. I'm not looking to buy. I am looking to learn about your business and see who I can connect you with. And that changes the conversation right off the bat, versus sitting there through a 30-minute like sales presentation that you're not going to ask for a referral. You're not going to tell them what, like you're just going to let yourself be pitched to. And I think we can immediately right off the bat say, hey, tell me about your business, all of those things. Make them ask, be so curious about their business that they feel guilty for not asking you about yours. BNI actually calls this giver's gain. I was telling Kyle about a conversation I had this week. So I was talking to the student about this, and he was like, oh yeah, BNI calls that giver's gain. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Because I'm talking about the principle of it, right? It's one of BNI's principles. And that's the difference between tactics, strategies, principles, wisdom. I'm not going to even speak on wisdom because that feels like a whole nother thing. But I think principles help guide the strategy, help guide the tactics. And in the success plan, we talk about our values, our mission statement, those core things that drive the business. I think a couple of, not the round that we're currently in, but the round before it, that really hit home with some people who were like, yeah, I want to build a legacy for my children to take over. And then another one said, what was it? Community. We were really talking about community and serving the community well, and that's a principle, right? So we're community driven. We're going to improve the community through our financial services. Yes, you can use that phrase if you don't want to, like if you're in a networking meeting. Financial services is really broad. So if you don't want to say, hey, I'm a bookkeeper, I think you should. I think that resonates with a lot of people. But if you feel situationally like self-conscious about that, you could say financial services. And when they ask more, you can say, oh, I specialize in, and then describe what you specialize in. If you need a different way to say what you do. That came up for me and Kyle. This guy knows that we do bookkeeping, and he's like, yeah, I think financial service, he was listening to what we're doing. He's like, because we also added a service this year, and Kyle's getting certified in it too. So, but it just changed. Oh yeah, we are. So anyway, food for that. Things I encounter. So principles. Do you guys have any principles that guide your business? And that can be like, actually, I'll just pause for questions. I can keep going. And Megan, I do not have Facebook up.
Yeah, I'm watching it. Ellen said she never thought of that, asking so much that they feel bad about not asking about yours.
And you know what? Sometimes they won't. They are just in such a mode of take, because they're in all like the Facebook groups where they're like, that's what they've been trained to do, right? Because we're always trained by someone, right? Yep. So me and Megan, we train each other because we ask each other questions, but we're also trained by our environment, other people we've learned, other CPAs that I learned under. And so I have little bitty quirks that I do in my business that probably came from a CPA a long time ago, right? Like, and so you'll look at my stuff and you're like, that's really formal. And I'm like, well, I don't know another way to do it. So, and then I'll talk to Megan and I'll be like, oh, I can give that up. That'd be cool. Like, so, but you're always learning someone. And if you're following someone who makes $1 million and goes and hangs out at the bar every weekend, spending all of their money on bars and cars and fun things. The person that learns from you is going to go do that too, because now you're doing it. But if you're learning from the person who's making money and saving it, maybe still driving the Ford Focus because he's like, do you understand the power of cash flow? There's another story I ran into this week. Thought it was cool. Right? Because we're always learning and we're always bringing that down. So there might be a time where someone is going to talk about themselves until the last 2 minutes, and you're going to have to interrupt them and say, thank you so much for sharing all of that. I would love to tell you real quick about who I'm looking to be connected with. I wrote down, I have this directory. Here's what I do. I wrote down that I can connect you with this person, this person, and this person. Is that right? Great. And this might not be a good example I'm thinking off the top of my head, but like I have been in those conversations where I'm like, are you gonna let me talk at all, please? Maybe. Like, you haven't even asked if I want to buy your product. Like, so there's those personalities out there, and you're gonna have to insert yourself and say, if you run across anybody who's using QuickBooks Online, I would love if you can send me an email. And you're gonna have to be really bold and say, this is what I need from you, because you took 30 minutes of my life. And maybe sometimes you shorten those calls, so it's not 30 minutes, it's 20 minutes, 15 minutes. Or use free Zoom, so it cuts you off at 40, because it does add up. But Bonnie cuts, I did go back to free at one point, and then it got really annoying. I didn't, but Bonnie uses the free version so that people can't go over. It just seemed like, okay, now I let you go over 10 minutes and now you've got another thought, and it interrupted. It just felt so rude to be like,
Yeah.
And they would like expect me to get back on because I was too cheap to buy the Zoom. And I'm like, I'm done. I'll just get you off. So,
Yep.
Just Google Meet is free. You don't need paid, You can also use the 40-minute Zoom. I use that forever. I only bought it because I had a client who I could, he flat out was like, I pay for it, and expected an hour-long call. And I'm like, you don't pay for these calls. So don't let clients set your boundaries. Principle. I'm just kidding. That's a principle. So I'm still thinking through okay, what's a principle? What's a strategy? What's a tactic? But I think principles, as I've been mulling this over all week, can't believe it's Thursday, are the things that really set the tone of your business. They drive how you market. They drive how you deliver. They drive everything about your business. They drive how you talk to clients. But they also reflect, in another call this week, I think they also reflect how we show up to the discovery calls. Because I was listening to someone tell me that she was like, she made a comment that any client would do right now, but followed up that with a client that she really doesn't like and is kind of taking advantage of her. She's way underquoted the client because she quoted based on revenue, and the workload is just insane. There's just a lot going on. So it should be double what she's charging, if not triple. So there's a large discrepancy in the workload. And she was like, but I knew I shouldn't have taken them on when I took them on. She only took them on because they were a warm body and they had money. Her business has been stunted because of it, and there's a lot of manual stuff. So she's taking checks and entering them. The problem with that is, if we know we shouldn't take a client, then there was something about that personality wise, whatnot, that we then forwent what we do. if we choose to go outside of that, then we're lacking integrity. So once we say this is our principle, so one of the things I encouraged her to do when she showed up to discovery calls was to say, my clients, even if she doesn't have a client right now, because this is where we're taking, so like your ideal client, my clients get me stuff by the 3rd of the month. My clients take ownership and make sure I have everything I need by the 3rd. My clients receive financials by the 20th. And you don't have to set a deadline. You don't have to say that. I'm just giving examples. This is what I expect my client to do. Because if they're not able to do it, you know, most of my clients have an admin, an office admin that does this. Do you have an admin on staff? No, you're planning on doing it. Are you willing to hire an admin? Like, depending on what you're doing. So in this particular instance, we were talking about doing more receipt management so she could add value to her services. You need someone to be able to do the receipt management, right? Because one of her kickbacks to me was, yeah, I have a client who says he's going to upload stuff and never does. It's too hard for him. Not the ideal client to this. So our clients upload all the receipts. Our clients make notes on the receipts for us. Because if they don't want to do that, if they know immediately they can't do that, they're going to ghost you. They're going to be like, oh, great for that proposal. I don't want to do that much work. And that's not your ideal client. But we're casually throughout the course of the call, communicating to them, interviewing them, telling them this is what we expect, instead of just getting onto a discovery call and saying, please buy from me. Please buy from me, right? Like, please sign. So it creates a different tone because it gives you an opportunity to interview them and make sure they're a good fit for you or fit for where you're heading and the life you want to live. I get really stressed out when clients don't give me stuff and they're paying me like, and I recently had a client who did that since the beginning. I've done like 4 of his years. He's done it since the beginning. He was paying me $150 a month and I couldn't, I tried ledger sync, I tried all kinds of stuff. He just couldn't get me the information and it was literally on him. And he had an office admin, but she couldn't get me the stuff because he wouldn't get her the stuff. Like, it was just, we were stuck. He paid me and paid me and paid me. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I guess like knowingly, I'm like, okay, well, I know he gets me stuff at least by year end. That's fine. But I'm still having to like check to see if he got me stuff, like kind of worry about whether, you know, how long it's been. And I couldn't get myself to just be okay with it. Like I'm toying with the idea of putting in my engagement letters, like if you're 60 days over like late getting me core stuff for your books, like material stuff that impacts your state, like I'm disengaging. I'm not there yet. I'm not quite there yet, but I've thought about it a couple of times recently. But he came to me and he was like, hey, I'm sorry, because he chronically buys businesses. So he's a like brokerage. And he had bought a new brokerage under Coldwell Banker and he was buying another brokerage. And so the CPA firm was already kind of working with that other brokerage he was acquiring. And so he was like, hey, I'm so sorry. Like, this doesn't have much activity anymore. Like, he just had so much going on. He was like, but can you please give me a Google review link and I will leave you a review. And he was like, I'm so sorry. If I have more stuff, I will give it to you. But I worried about this client all the time. And it was only $150. Like, but for me, I know I really like to get stuff. Like, I really like to get it out the door. So I probably have some work to do there, but like, because it's really their business, it's their books. I would just prefer to get it done monthly. It also keeps my contractors busy if we have stuff and not overwhelmed. So part of it is, you know, then he would give us stuff March 15th. And I'm like, you want us to do what? On top of our what? Like, and so I do tell them if they get behind, it's 4 to 6 weeks, just like a cleanup. Even if they're a month behind, I'll get it with the next month. Like, I really try not to stress over it. I care, but I try not to stress over it. I try to set that boundary of 4 to 6 weeks. You got behind, you got a soft schedule, therefore it's on you, not me.
Yep.
I still do it. I still pay attention to it. I still put them in the same bucket. But what I used to do when I started is I would stay up way too late. And if I stay up late, I start like grinding my teeth. Like if I stay up past midnight, I will start grinding my teeth and like it will hurt, like it like physically hurts one of my teeth. Just from stress. And I've tried mouth guards and stuff like that. So that's besides the point. Like it's a better solution. Just go to bed by 10 and I'm happier and healthier. And I don't have a lot of jaw pain. So, but that's helped me say, okay, yeah, it's not my responsibility to like lose sleep and miss out on my family time because you procrastinate. And that's so one of those is my clients get me stuff on time. And if you tell that to clients, they know that you've already set the expectation. You set it from day one and they knew what they signed up for.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's my thoughts on principles this week. Things that drive the business. Megan, do you want to announce our birthday special today? Is that what we're doing today? We have a birthday special.
Yeah.
I think I forget. So it's 1-to-1s. So we have 2 birthdays in the group. Well, in the leadership team. Is that what we call it? The leadership team has 2 birthdays. One on Sunday, and then mine's on Wednesday. So we are doing a birthday special on 1-to-1s. So the bundle of $390. I've got to look to see. I don't. And then you get free. Okay. Sorry. I couldn't remember how many 1-to-1s I got. So in the bundle, you guys, I think all know there's 6 30-minute 1-to-1s in that bundle. You can use them like 2 at a time. Like if you need an hour with a coach, you can just, if they have the time on their calendar, you can block an hour and go through something. These don't expire. So if you need to use them come February of next year during tax season, you have them. But we're doing a bonus right now. So the birthday special is you get half free. So you get 9 1-to-1s. So 3 extras for free. So 9 total for $390. So instead of the normal 6, we are doing 9. That makes it a little bit more break even for us. But we know how valuable they are come tax season. And I wanted to do a birthday special. So all of those things. Megan, I don't know if we have a link for that yet, do we? Is it just the bundle link if they purchase before?
Yeah, that was going to be my question, but yeah, I think that would probably be the easiest thing, and then we just add.
Yeah, I think we just add. We'll just add it.
I can grab that link though for the 1-to-1s.
That's funny. All the things. One of our team members has been super sick, and I just feel like I'm like, oh yeah, we normally have a special week, but all good. You guys take care of yourselves going into winter. We want healthy business owners. Your family wants you to be healthy, so do rest a lot. Like I was at an event last week, and one of the comments that was made was actually, do you have the guts to rest? Do you have the guts to rest? Yeah, right. And I was like, yeah.
I know.
Because
I've been trying, so I'm bad about that, about not just with everything going on with school, with businesses, just everything. So I've been trying to knock out as much as I can this week. So I know I'm not going to be able to 100% rest the entire trip, but I'm like, Thursday, Friday, if I can just do nothing bookkeeping wise, like that would, or business wise, that would be amazing. So yeah, like I'm the world's worst about that, I can tell you.
You're gone all next week, right?
Yeah, we're leaving Monday and coming back Saturday.
I was like forced to not do anything. I was like, oh, I'll be able to do stuff. And I was like, oh, whoops. Can't do anything.
Yeah.
But even last night I was gonna stay up to do some stuff. I told you I was gonna stay up and do some stuff. Shocker, I did not. I did try, like Kyle got 2 of the babies down. Well, 1 of the babies down, and then the other 2 would not stay. So I went and did bedtime with them. And then I just feel like at that point, my brain says,
Done.
yeah, I'm tired too. And
Yep. No, I
so
get
then
that.
I got up early this morning and started working, and then I lost track of time. So I apologize for losing track of time this morning, but
Very
I
good.
owe you an email. So, but yeah, you guys will also send an email out for this today. So if you didn't grab the link now, and you want them, we're doing the promo. Is it through Wednesday night?
Yeah, I think, yeah, for Wednesday night.
So you'll have through next Wednesday to buy. So if you're waiting for anything or planning that out, you have a little time to plan. But 9 1-to-1s for the price of 6.
And they don't expire. So if you don't need them now, you could use them later. So take advantage of it for sure.
For sure. Yeah, I just got a message from someone. She was gonna hop on today, but she wasn't able to. She's used a ton of 1-to-1s, and she wanted to share that with you guys, but then realized she wasn't able to. Something about, kids running around in the background. Oh yeah, I totally understand that. She wasn't able to make it for that reason. So she's going to share in the group kind of her experience with 1-to-1s, and she's not the only one who has had a lot of really good success with 1-to-1, just because I think, Megan, we're actually the only group that I am aware of that does 1-to-1s, no questions asked, ask about absolutely anything. Like, if you needed to get on a 1-to-1 to just vent about a client, you could do that. Right? We don't, there's no research beforehand. There's no, everything's a go. There's nothing off limits outside of like taxes. We don't do taxes, and then you'd have to get a disclosure from, like outside of the services we provide. But as far as industry specific bookkeeping 1-to-1s, I think we're the only group that does what we do, which is pretty cool. And we have people tell us all the time to not do what we do, which is always fun. Not that you shouldn't listen to wisdom. We should listen to wisdom, and we are. But we've seen the impact it has on you guys for sure. So we keep it.
Yep.
It's like almost our like pseudo loss leader some days. We love you guys. Okay, so there's 1-to-1s. We have a lot coming up in the next. So we're coming into year end. So 1099s are going to start being relevant and talked about in all the places. We're going to skip next Thursday. So next Thursday is Thanksgiving. So you guys spend time with your family. Don't come get on a call. We won't be here. I will be cooking something I don't know yet for Thanksgiving. So I will be MIA with kids. So don't come join. But on November 30th, we have a special guest, and we're going to do a special call. We're going to, the coaches don't know this yet. So coaches, if you hear this from here, I'm sorry, I will tell you in the chat. We're going to join both the paid group and this group together on the 30th for a special call from a media expert. She has been a news anchor, she has been a meteorologist, and she's going to talk to us about how to get into the media come January, February, because it's the easiest time of the year to get into the media. So I think that will be super helpful. How to do a press release, what are the pieces, and how to do it professionally. So she helps people get on TV. She is getting on TV currently for something that she's launching herself. But I wanted to get her on before, like, her course is really like small and cheap, and she's really good at what she does. So before she raises the price and realizes what she actually offers, I wanted to get her in front of you guys. So she's super sweet, a wealth of wisdom, and I think you guys will enjoy just hearing from her on different ways to market your business and how to do that. So that is Thursday, November 30th. And then we'll be, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of next week, CB4S will kind of be shut down a lot of ways, and then we'll resume on Monday. You can still post, we get on, I just don't know how quickly they'll be responded to. So occasionally we'll get on, but I would assume that all questions would be answered by Monday. And then Christmas week, that's a weird week. We haven't actually set the dates for that. And then we'll have another, I think, 2 more guests on the 7th and the 14th, likely. I was talking to another one last night who does videos differently than you guys have been taught so far. And then another one does advisory. So just feels like a good way to close up the year is
And get ready for
cultivate
tax season.
ideas. I'm sorry, wait, what? Maybe I
I said,
missed.
and get ready for tax season,
Yeah,
because people will be looking for sure.
yeah. I was trying to figure, because I feel like it's a hit or miss. So like if you haven't, I'm saying like a lot, if you haven't started marketing towards tax season, like increasing what you're doing, or like if you find yourself being inconsistent, now's the time to actually just be consistent at whatever it is. It's not the time to reinvent the wheel. It is, you can make process improvements to it. So if you have a funnel, if you have an onboarding checklist, if you have email follow-ups, things like that, now is the time to at least manually check in on people. Hey, did the year go as you planned? I know we talked in February and you found a bookkeeper. How's that working out for you? Is that so good? Great. Yeah. Okay. No, you need a bookkeeper. Let's do a call. That's happened to me more times than not. When I started my email list, so I guess I technically started it when I first started my business through MailChimp. Never did anything with it, didn't really know how to use it. Synced it to QuickBooks, so I got all my like contacts from QuickBooks, which was helpful, but I never sent emails. I was too scared to. I didn't understand that I should have treated it like a podcast and just been faithful with it. So I revived it in Christmas week, like the week after Christmas last year, and that has gone really well for me in terms of just reconnecting. Like I haven't pushed it the way I should have, but just from a follow-up standpoint, that has gone really well. And so it's been a really good way to follow up with people. You good again? Legos are appealing. So now's a good time to set up some, additional things. I wouldn't revamp the will and try a completely new marketing adventure. 100%, unless like you have done no marketing for 6 months, 3 months, and you refuse to go back to what you're doing. If so, we need a one-to-one to like come up with a strategic plan. For sure. Okay. There's marketing. There's year end.
Hey, I've got a question. Not about what we're talking about.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, go for it.
So I have a new client who has on our discovery call, he's like, I have like 200 to 250 transactions a month. So I charge more, right? And that's just one account. That's not including his 3 other accounts, just in his operating account. Well, half of those are checks. Would you reevaluate your fee and charge more?
I would want to, I can tell you. Because checks take so much more work than
Yeah,
How is he writing?
and half of this call, like as I'm listening to you, was looking for one check that is mislabeled in QuickBooks and trying to find it. And because it's not on a statement, I have to go into like onto the Chase is the bank. I have to go onto the website in the bank feed itself and look for the check number. So now I'm like trying to match the amount.
So you can, for Chase, you can search the check number, because I have a client that has Chase. So I don't remember exactly where it's at, but when you're on like the main screen for their
Search.
feed, yep, search. And then I always it asks a to and a from check number, but I always just put the exact check number in and it'll pull it up. Because I do have a client that has Chase as well. But it is still a lot of work.
Are these checks for expenses or checks they're receiving for
Expenses.
expenses? I might add an AP fee. I would add something per check, because because it also matters at year end. So checks are considered, is he cash basis, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
So if he writes a check on December 31st, you actually have to record that check December 31st in QuickBooks, not when it clears in like January 5th. Because it's expensed when the date on the check. So really in QuickBooks, it's not just when it comes to the bank feed. You have to go manually enter a check in QuickBooks and like put the date, so that it's captured in the correct period. I know.
Yeah.
You could just do it at year end. So look at that period, December, 28th through January 10th, and look for any timing issues. And then you're going to restate those checks to what the check date is.
Okay. Okay. This guy has 3 check numbers that are the same. 3050.
How did that happen?
There are 3 check
Are
numbers.
they all the same amount?
3050.
I mean, different amounts?
Different amounts.
What is he using? Is he using like a check software?
No. Checkbook. His wife is writing the checks to the subcontractors.
Different accounts?
No.
You physically cannot have the same in a checkbook.
I'm looking at 3. One from October 31st of this year, one from October 10th of this year, and one from June 28th of 2022. All check number 3050.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. It sounds like something happened on the bank's end or something. Maybe it's a
No,
typo.
the images are all 3050.
They could have messed up when they ordered like a new checkbook, so the 2022 one might make sense. the 2 October ones don't make sense.
No.
Unless they like ordered a new checkbook and got the check, like, because when you order a new checkbook, you have
I
to
got
put
the
check
starting number wrong.
They
Yeah.
got the starting number wrong and it like duplicated. So if it works out from like they were truly cashed, everything balances, I would ignore it, but you might let like there's going to be an overlap on the check numbers.
Real cute. This is real cute.
I'm sorry. Okay, but like, look, Megan, how would you charge per check or
So
would you increase that?
I think I would track the time and then kind of, I don't know, it's gonna be hard because if you tell them it's an AP fee, they're probably gonna try to argue that it's not true accounts payable. So like mine that have checks, both of them, well, I have a couple that just have a few checks, but both of them that have the most checks, they're on hourly. Like I charge them hourly, so it works out. So it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But I think I would definitely, how long have you been doing his books? Is this the first?
This is the October is the first month.
Okay. I would definitely track I don't know how far you're into it, but definitely track your time and make sure, like see how long it is taking you to do it. And then maybe just bring that to his attention, like, hey, because there's so many checks that are written, it's taken longer to do, so we need to increase the fee by whatever. And I mean, I would look at it and see how much time you're spending and where are you wanting your hourly rate to be at. If you're wanting it at like 100, 150 an hour, typically when you quote, then what does that look like right now? If maybe you need to raise them $100 or something along those lines, you know?
Okay. Yeah, because I'm like, yeah, $100, $150 an hour, somewhere around there is what I'm trying to average. So, okay, so his fee is, what is his fee? His fee is $550. So if total it takes me longer than, I'd say like
if it takes
three and a half, it's 4, yeah, like 4.5, 5 hours, then yeah, then I need to reevaluate.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, thanks.
Yep.
And that might be something, I don't know if you're hiring contractors, but once you get a system down, that might be a task I would look at hiring a contractor to do, especially once you know how long it's going to take. That way you can price it and outsource it better.
Yeah, so I hired an administrative assistant. And she starts after Thanksgiving. To kind of do those, like just the the mindless background tasks. She has some bookkeeping experience, but her like passion and full-time job is event planning.
But doing the checks could probably be something that she could handle.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, even if it meant that you didn't want her going in and actually putting it in QuickBooks, you could maybe ask her like, hey, get her a list of check numbers or something and have her go through Chase and put the information in for you. So then you're just
maybe export it into a CSV and have her just just go into his account and match. Okay, that's a good idea. All right, thanks.
Yeah. Admins are great. What else is she helping you with?
She's gonna help me set up all my like pipelines. I have TaxDome for my CRM, and so we're gonna get all of that's the first priority, and then it's gonna be like pulling statements, following up, because I have 2 or 3 clients who are really bad about when I send them transaction questions. really bad about responding. Like I have somebody, I'm still waiting for their September questions. And so just kind of like following up on those kinds of things. Yeah, pulling statements, following up with clients, answering like their little questions so that because she does have a little bit of a background in bookkeeping, like that she can answer, and then saying, hey, I don't know this, you got to answer this type of thing. That's kind of all I've really thought about at this point. I just know that I need somebody before I drown.
Remind me, do you have our bookkeeper blueprint course at all?
I'm on the monthly something or other. What have I got? I don't know.
That's what I thought. I think you have it.
I think so too, because I think she joined in like the end of last year, and we let everybody that was in have it in January whenever we launched it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you have it. There's a workflows tab like in it. It's in PowerPoint, but it's just like a chart, whatever. And in that, it's just an example of how to list out like what you've got going on. What I would do if I were you, even if it's just on paper, is I would break down. This is how I'm marketing. Here's the task I'm doing to market. I expect a client to get to this point. This is a no. If they go to a no, they go to my email list. If they're a yes, now we save their onboarding, their engagement letter. This is what our onboarding steps are. Then this is how we, this is what we need to do the first month. This is how we do delivery. This is how we offboard. Just brain dump all of that. You probably have a lot of it kind of in Taxdome already, but really get kind of nitty gritty on the details around it.
Yeah, I do have bookkeeper blueprint. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Anyways, yeah.
In this
Okay,
video.
I thought you did. So that's an example of some things that would come up on it. I'm happy to get with you if you're like, okay, here's what I have, and then because we want to get as granular as possible, and like even if you do it on paper, like circle the things that you can give her, and then process it. Like even if it's in a Google Drive, even if it's you record yourself on Zoom saying this is what I do. Screencastify, you could put tabs on the video. Because one of the things that's hard about an admin sometimes is making sure they have enough to do. Like you might not, like you have checks, you have all of these things she's going to set up. She has a project, but once that project is done, we want to make sure we have things for them to do, which is a great thing because you get more and more stuff off your plate. It just takes a lot of time to you're working harder first to really get those things off your plate. Okay. But I would identify all the little things. Don't give them all to her at once, but all the little things.
Okay. Yeah. And I do I'm in BNI with her. And so I know she's really good about so my brain is not organized. Like I have a total ADHD brain. I'm all over the place. And she's super type A, organized, structured. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I really like we're going to do this because you can take my office is an example of my brain, just shit strewn all over the place. So, I think she will also be able to help with hey, these are the tasks that I can take off your plate. Cause she's going to just sit with me for a week and just watch what I do. And so that, I think that'll also, so between those two things, I think we'll be.
Yeah. And I have asked my husband several times. I was like, can I just get someone kind of in person, even if they work from home, to come here and do exactly that because I used to be organized until I got busy. Kyle was saving statements for me last night, and I'm like, I used to hate when CPAs would procrastinate on stuff. It was always well, the CPA doesn't take good notes. I hate getting files after Bob has touched it. Literally, his name was Bob. He was a really awesome boss too. I was like, but like we all hated getting into files after him because there was never any documentation, and that's really important for a CPA. And we're like, you're gonna get in trouble. Your license is gonna be in risk. But now I totally understand why. I totally fully understand why. He just wanted to get it out the door. Yeah, I get it. So if I touch the files, help us all. It's bad. Or then like I have to take like an hour and like clean up my mess, and it's annoying. So I'm like, can I just have some? Megan did this at one point for me. She would save files. You helped on one of my clients, I think, and you saved files for me because I really like having files. I was probably working on the website. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, guys. I gotta
Teamwork.
jump off.
Yep.
Bye.
That's a good end point. Guys, if you have any other questions, feel free to comment below on the live and tag us, and we'll come answer them. But looking forward to seeing you guys soon.
Have a good weekend and good Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, happy Thanksgiving. Bye guys.
Bye.